What's good, YouTube? It's your boy NYC Mike, man, and I'm back with another reaction video, man. And today we got another banger. You already know. Today we're gonna be reacting to a video that's basically talking about the whole gender pronoun thing and the whole gender ideology thing that's going on in schools. You feel me? And y'all already know how I feel about this. You get what I'm saying? But this is basically supposed to be a parody. And the whole point of it is to show us that this is what's going to be happening in public schools right now. You get what I'm saying? So for all my parents out there that are, don't agree with these type of things being taught to your children in school, I would advise y'all to homeschool y'all kids. And if y'all can't do that, then try to send your kids to like at least private schools or like very like, if you have the money. But if you don't have the money, I would really suggest just homeschooling your kids. A lot of people think homeschooling is hard, but it's actually not hard at all. You get what I'm saying? Now I understand most people are not fortunate enough to do that with their children, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's very understandable. But I'm telling you, man, like, society is falling apart, you get what I'm saying? And the school system is already broken, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. You get what I'm saying? So, you really don't want your children to be indoctrinated by any of this stuff, man. I would really advise y'all to homeschool your kids, man. You feel me? You will avoid all of this if you just homeschool your kids. I'm telling you, bro. But yeah, man, before we get straight into the video, I need y'all to do me a favor, man. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, and most of all, make sure you turn on those post notifications so you get notified when I upload a new video, man. So without ado, we gonna get straight into it.
Class, today we're gonna learn the science of where babies come from. Now, back in primitive civilization, when they thought the earth was round, it was believed that only women had babies. But now, through modern advancements in human civilization, we know the earth is flat and that babies come from men. With all these men having babies, we're going to have to get men into having abortions soon because they're just populating the planet too much. And a man's right to choose has been oppressed by misogynistic women making everything about their right to choose. Now here's how it works. When a man and a woman, or a man and another man come together, they make a baby. Isn't it that you need both a man and a woman to have a baby? Because men have the sperm that then fertilizes the woman's egg? No. That's just medical misinformation being spread by Joe Rogan. You see, it's just like the only way to make water is to combine two hydrogen molecules with one oxygen molecule. But let's say you don't have any hydrogen molecules. Can you still make water? No. Incorrect. Even if you don't have any hydrogen, a vital component of water, you can still make water with only oxygen if you want it to be water. Because science. But wouldn't that just be air? No, it's water. Why are you being water phobic, you little misogynistic brat? But it doesn't make sense. It's not actually water. Oh, well, you know what would make sense? How about I go on Twitter and cancel you to help you understand the science? Do you think that...
That's really how it be too, bro. That's really how it be. He has this down pat. He has this so down pat. That's really how it is, man.
Would help? And that is part of the scientific method. Now, a person can't get pregnant until they begin menstruating, which clearly men do. It's called getting your period. Most boys begin menstruating between the ages of 10 and 13. And when they do, I'm 15 and I haven't got my period yet. Is there something wrong with me? Oh, wow. Probably. You might have some kind of reproductive disorder or something. You'll probably want to have your gynecologist check you out.
Oh my god.
But when your period does come, blood and stuff will come from this general area, specifically your uterus, which for men is also the same thing as your small intestine.
See, now look, right? I know this is like a parody, right? And I do understand the message of the video, obviously. I'm not slow. But it's a dark message. It really shows you that, these schools, these teachers, they're really doing very disturbing and disgusting things with children. You get what I'm saying? Um, why are you talking to kids about their sexuality? Why? Why do you feel the need to do that? Why do you think as an adult that it's appropriate to talk to your kids about their sexuality? They're kids. You think I'm gonna have a conversation with my daughter when she's 5 years old about, well, hey, sweetie, you ever heard of a period? So a period is when, no, that's disgusting. That's weird. I'm not talking to my 5-year-old daughter about stuff like that. No, I'm going to wait until she becomes mature enough, more developed enough to even understand what I'm talking about. Because a kid, they don't know what you're talking about. They don't know what any of this stuff is.
From there, shedding your uterine lining causes blood to leak out. Where's the blood leak out of? Yeah, right. It comes right out of the man's vagina, right between his scrotum and his anus. I don't even think I have a vagina down there. How am I ever gonna get my period? Well, do you ever get bloody noses? Well, sometimes if I'm playing football or wrestling and I get hit in the face. Well, there you go. Yours just comes out of your nose. That's your period. Now, to keep from getting period blood everywhere, you'll want to wear a maxi pad.
Oh my gosh.
For boys having trouble getting their period, for whatever reason, you can eat a bunch of beets and then look in the toilet after you poop. That's also your period. I heard my dad listening to Dr. Robert Malone discussing science on a podcast, and he said with a jab, you need to be... Stop it! Stop it right now! Don't you ever interrupt science class again with medical misinformation while I'm teaching about how men get pregnant. I don't think men can get pregnant. I mean, I'll have my dad come in and talk to you about it. So your dad's a domestic terrorist. If he steps foot near the school,
see? And that is so true. Because, the whole pro LGBTQ people, the people that's with the whole trans movement stuff and the gender ideology and the pronouns and all of that, right? They come from emotion, while people that are against it come with logic. And like I always tell people, you cannot win. You cannot be factually correct about something with just coming from only an emotional standpoint. You gotta have some logic in whatever it is that you're talking about. You get what I'm saying? If everything that you're saying is not logically factual or correct, then at that point, you're just being emotional and you're just saying stuff out of emotion because of how you feel about something. But just because you feel that way, it doesn't mean that it's correct or it's right. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, he's got this down pat. That's really how it be, man. That's really how it be. And then they start throwing insults at you when you start backing them into a corner and you start making them realize what they're doing is weird and dumb. So they try to use other things or say other things to justify their behaviors. You get what I'm saying? They start calling you things like transphobic and this and that. I mean, you're discriminating and this and that. You feel me? Because they don't have anything else to combat with you with. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no logic to combat with you with. They don't have no logic, bro.
I'll have him arrested now. The vast majority of scientific discoveries during the last century have been made by Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, and Stephen Hawking, but mostly CNN. Next, we're going to cover what's called natural immunity. It does not exist. Any questions before we move on? Now, collaboration and discussion around scientific theories and data is an important part of making scientific advancements. So when someone has an opposing theory, especially one backed by evidence and objective numbers, the scientific method requires you to hysterically scream at them, accusing them of being a science denier. And even at times threatening them is an advanced form of scientifically analyzing their data. Like, for example, Ralph, do you remember how you were just talking about Dr. Malone? Yes? Well, for doing so, I'm going to kill you and your family. Now, Ralph, do you still believe that Dr. Malone is a valid source of information that you should be listening to? I guess not. Isn't that just mean? Science! When beginning a scientific study, a scientist should always ask itself, who's funding the study, what do they want to find, and what do they want to hide? And then you go about scientifically creating those results so you can get paid. Now, when doing science, some science could reveal things that you don't want to be correct. Then, in the name of good science, you censor those things. Out of all the fields in science, biology, chemistry, astronomy, censorship is the most widely used one today. Now, what is the most common factor that makes science change? Yes. Increased atmospheric pressure? No. Low numbers at the polls? Yes, exactly. When elections are coming up and polls are down, the science completely changes.
What does that have to do with
Completely go out the
science?
window. The law of gravity no longer exists, which isn't surprising because gravity is just a social construct. Now, this is the science. Now, class, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go take a pregnancy test because I'm 32 years late getting my period. I hope this is the time. Real quick, I would love to invite you to join me on my Awaken Warrior newsletter.
Bruh, let me see. Is that the end of the video? Yeah, the rest of the video, he's just doing an ad. All I really have to say is that for all my parents out there that may be watching, if you have kids, or if you do plan on having kids, man, I just want y'all to really, just focus on these things that are happening in our society. Like I said, man, just be aware, you know what I'm saying? And if you really care about your kids and their livelihoods and their education and stuff like that, I would really advise you, man. Me personally, I'm at this point, I'm really against public school and the whole school system. It's the whole school system in general is just very brainwashing, and it's sad, bro. It really is. And I know for a fact that I'm not gonna have my kids, be on that type of time, and I'm gonna make sure my kids get homeschooled, and I'm gonna just make sure that they good. You feel me? Or if they're not homeschooled, they're not gonna be going to no school that is gonna be telling them these type of things. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I know that for a fact, and I'm gonna make sure of it for real. But yeah, man, I hope you enjoyed the video, man. You feel me? And I hope y'all have a good day, and I'll see y'all in the next reaction video.